usually open with a joke, but this week I just wanted to tell you to stop looking at my butt. I know it's not on the screen or in the recording, but if it were, I imagine you would look at it, and I feel objectified knowing this. So stop it, you dirty, dirty people. Just kidding. You're awesome. Thanks for listening. Hope you didn't stop listening based on that, because that was, that was some silly stuff. I'm a weirdo. I do weird stuff. It's not COVID. I just took a dab. Yeah, sorry. Sorry to people that don't like dabs. I think they're pretty wonderful. And they make my butt feel objectified. So anyway, we've got a bunch of new amazing music to share with you today, people. Oh, yeah. All right, we're going to kick it off. Parts Per Million, Find the Light. Parts Per Million is local to the Massachusetts area, New Hampshire area, and they're really, really amazing. And I love their music. And the song's really great, and the music video is super moving, so you should check it out. Link in the description. Here we go.
Simply not there, forever and ever. After all, one has some intimation of this by the interval that separates going to sleep from waking.
Yeah, so the song's amazing. It just draws so many influences. I mean, I know one of their main influences is Opeth, and I always hear a lot of Soundgarden, but not so much in the chord choice, but more just in the song structure and just how unique it is, and also the sound of Paul's voice specifically. I think sounds a little like Chris's as well. So yeah, Find the Light, Parts Per Million, super amazing song, super amazing video. Definitely a moving subject. It's obviously about losing somebody and then reuniting with them, I think, after you die is what it seems like. And this music video is very moving and well done, and the lyrics are great, and the production's just wonderful. Definitely support everything these guys do. They've done a few amazing music videos already, so make sure to check out Parts Per Million and everything they do. They're super talented. Next up, oh my god, Monuments dropped a new song. It might be my favorite Monument song. Like, I didn't know how Andy Cizek, the new vocalist, I mean, like, he's an amazing vocalist. I just didn't know how he was going to do with Monuments material specifically. They may have put music out with him already. I'm not 100% sure, but I know it's been a while since Monuments did put out music, and this is just amazing. Deadnest, spectacular. Monuments. Listen to this song. It's so good.
I'm simply
It's just spectacular. That's just this, what a hook. I love the way that he drops into falsetto and then brings it back into the to his chest voice, and it's just the there's so much personality in his voice as well, and also just Monuments. The instrumentals themselves are just so. I feel like the riffs are just amazing. They're doing a lot of the stuff that very many technical, heavier bands are trying to do. They're able to go technical but stay super groovy, and it's just amazing. I love listening to what they do, and I know that Fathom Farewell's Steve Allman, the former live guitarist but also current person who helps us write some songs because he's just amazing and one of my best friends in the world, loves Monuments and is super into them. So yeah, we definitely love that breed of heavy. It's so spectacular, and Andy is an incredible addition to the band. So make sure you go support Monuments. This is just an amazing single they just dropped, so go and check it out. I think it just came out like yesterday. It's so good. Woo! Or maybe even today. All right. Next up, NF dropped a whole mixtape because I showed a song from NF that was featuring Hobson last week. That was super dope, and this song, Just Like You, is amazing. And there's also a music video he dropped that tells a story that's super intense and great. So NF, the two letters, NF, check it out, because he's just a spectacular rapper coming out of Detroit. He's another white guy, just like Eminem, but I mean, he's got his whole own style and thing going, and focuses a lot on mental health and just does it in such a very strong way, and doesn't use swears in any of his lyrics. And it's interesting because he gets real intense and real deep, and a lot of what he does is a lot more intense than anything that does utilize profanity. So it's just he's able to create such an environment and atmosphere without having to rely on such things. So check this out, NF, Just Like You.
Just in case my car goes off the highway, or the plane that I get on decides that it's my last day, I want you to know when you're alone and you feel afraid, you're not the only person in the world that isn't okay. There's millions of us just like you, like you, like you, just like you, like you. There's millions of us just like you, like you, like you, just like you, like you. It's strange the way the mind can wander, but also stop the gossip and chat with memories that you and me aren't really fond of. Maybe you're out to find love, maybe you lost who you was, maybe you're just like me and feel the need to stay in your rut. Cause if you left it, you might feel like you're no longer you. It's so impressive the way the mind can play with the truth. It's interesting that nobody can walk in your shoes but still relate and feel the same, so in a way, guess we do. You ever think about what it would be like if the clouds were gone and you could see light? If the door was open, would you take flight? Or just close the curtains up and stay inside? Take a walk with me, take a risk with me. I'm scared too, and it gets so tempting when you're so empty to disown everything you hold. Dealing when you know, clearly you've been so buried in your own fairy tale. The soul's tearing, but your holes in me, I relate to it. But in case you've been thinking no one does, here's a great theory. Throw a Hail Mary, let your mind fly to the sunrise. Could be so scary, make your faith vary. Feel the pain glaring, but the weight carried ain't in vain. Hear me? Hear me? Just in case my car goes off the highway, or the plane that I get on decides that it's my last day, I want you to know when you're alone and you feel afraid, you're not the only.
Yeah, if you want more, go support, go check out NF. Ha-ha! Hoo-hoo! Ha-ha! Hoo-hoo! Yes, I am a bird. I'm an owl. I am a bird of the night. Yes, but NF, Just Like You. This is an amazing, super catchy song. I love it. Super relatable to anybody. Be honest with yourself. Super relatable. Oh my God, it's amazing. I can't believe just how poignant the material this guy's able to put out is. I mean, I can believe it. I mean, he's obviously very smart and well-read, so it's not surprising, but it's just, I don't know. It's just so confidently put out there, and it's weird because so many people don't know who NF was. I didn't know who NF was until a year ago, and I just was like, okay, this guy is just super amazing and already super huge, and I just somehow never heard of him. All right, cool, whatever. And yeah, NF is spectacular. So go and support. New mixtape out right now, Clouds. It's awesome. Well, I mean, I've heard 4 or 5 tracks off it, and every single one has been perfect and amazing. So go and check it out. Go and check it out right now. Okay. Will you? Promise me you will. Swear to me. I'm weird. I'm so weird. Anyway, here we go. Next up. Ooh, so good. So Erra, this band, Erra. They've been doing their thing for a while, and I've played with them a bunch, since they've started, and I was never blown away by what they have been doing. Like, more and more I can see the progress for sure. And like the last album was cool, but this next one is unbelievable. They did a really good job on this album. So without further ado, my favorite track on the album is actually the first track, Snowblood. So I'm going to play some of that right now. And it's so bad ice. This is just really good. This is just surprisingly, I'd say surprisingly. I didn't expect anything like that amazing to come out of Erra. They're a great band, don't get me wrong, but again, I haven't been completely blown away by anything they've done so far, and now I have. This album's awesome. Go check out the new album from Erra. It's amazing. That song's amazing. I love it so much. So very, very much. Regardless, next up we got Amun. This is an artist I just came across today. Amun. Blues. Cool song. I like it a lot, and I'm going to show it to you. So I hope that you dig this. Here we go.
We can fall in love again. Baby, I feel like I only play to lose. Falling for you sound like the blues. Still I stay, just so we can fall in love again. I know your heart is ugly, but tonight you beautiful. We can sip some bubbly till we naked in the pool. Getting faded, stripping naked, listening to crow. We don't need no drugs, but either way, I guess I'm cold. I'm sick of it all. It's like we always break up. Just so we can fall in love again. But baby, I feel like I only play to lose. Falling for you sound like the blues. Still I stay, just so we can fall in love again. You cross my mind so many times. Why can't
Oh, I dig that. The song is really good, well produced. Definitely enjoyed that. All of Amun's only got about 300 subscribers on his YouTube. That's That is a crime. He has 300 subscribers. That's a crime. He should have no less than like 30,000 at least right now. That's ridiculous. So, not his fault. I mean, he's making great music. It's your fault. Why haven't you subscribed to his channel yet? Unless you're one of the 300 people who has. In which case, I am so sorry to have accused you of sleeping on this amazing artist. Olive Amun, Olive. First name, Amun. Last name. He's awesome. Olive Amun. The song was called Blues. Oh, yes. Those are my 5 new songs for you this week. I hope that you enjoyed what you heard. And next up is the historical shout out to the lovely and talented and beautiful Aretha Franklin, R.I.P. She died in 2018. This woman lived a crazy life, and she worked extremely hard and left an incredible legacy behind her as the Queen of Soul. And I'm going to show you why they call her that, because just her voice is just spectacular, unmatched. She just was able to do things many people had not been able to do at that time. Well, let's say probably anybody other than her. She broke the mold. Crazy fact I didn't know about her: she had her first child at 12 years old. I can't imagine what circumstances led to that, but she must have just made her all the more stronger, because apparently, I mean, one of the strongest women in history. So, Aretha Franklin, I Say a Little Prayer is what I'm going to play a clip from. I hope you dig it.
The moment I wake up, before I put on my makeup, I say a little prayer for you. And while I'm combing my hair now, and wondering what dress to wear now, I say a little prayer for you. Forever, you stay in my heart, and I will love you forever, ever. We're part of how I love you together. That's how it must be to live without you. Would only be heartbreak for me. I run for the bus stand, but while riding I think of us dear. I say a little prayer for you. And at work I just take time, and all through my coffee break time, I say a little prayer for you. Forever, ever, stay in my heart, and I will love you forever, ever. We're part of how I love you together. That's how it must be to live without you. Would only be heartbreak for me. Nobody but me. Forever, ever, stay in my heart, and I will love you.
Yeah. I mean, did you hear those high notes? Did you hear those runs? Did you hear, like, there's not many people on earth that can do those things like that. You got, like, Ariana Grande, Mariah Carey, like, 15 years ago. You know, there's just not very many people that... And, you know, even Ariana, I feel like she doesn't hit it with the soul that Aretha had, not even mildly. She's got her own thing going on, which is awesome, for sure. But, I mean, like, this is, I don't know, it's timeless, and it's just always going to be amazing. It's always going to be something that's going to be highly respected, and I'm always going to listen to Aretha Franklin's music until the day I die, so she's amazing. She's wonderful. Next up, we got the news. The news is crazy. So, really cool article about a nonprofit that's creating custom t-shirts that are modeled after specific music venues, and then they donate the proceeds to the music venues from the t-shirts. One of them was a couple of smoking cats that were for wearing Black Dice shirts, and it was for the venue Black Dice. Like, they got, this is really cute. They got some some black jeans on with chains, and then these white greaser shirts say Black Dice, and they got, I think, a bunch of tattoos. Great t-shirt. Really cool idea. So they're using, it's a Toronto company using music merch to help struggling bars. So the article is in the description if you want to help them, or if you want to launch your own initiative. I think this is super awesome and cool. Really great idea. Next up, Madonna was busted photoshopping her face onto a 28-year-old's body to promote an album. I mean, she saved some money on plastic surgery, right? I mean, in a world where your internet face means more than your real face, when it comes to, like, you know, entertainment in that realm, does it really matter? None of us are really seeing Madonna in person, except for the small percentage of us that go to see her live when concerts come back. So does it really, like, matter? If you ask me, would I rather that she photoshops her face onto a 28-year-old so that she looks like a 28-year-old Madonna, or would I rather that she go under the knife and make herself try to look like a 28-year-old Madonna and come out looking like a plastic human? I would rather she use Photoshop. If you're going to ask me, use technology and keep yourself natural, because you know, even if you get more than one life, you only get this body once. So what are you going to mess it up in its older years? Why would you do that? Why would you do that to yourself? So silly. Next up. So, of course, the article to that in the description. Next up, there's so much pressure on pop stars causing eating disorders, which is being outlined in a documentary about Demi Lovato, who goes over her very strict regiment of the diets that were implemented. And it seems, I don't know, it seems just ridiculous that people have to be in perfect shape. Like, you can look really good without being, like, perfectly chiseled. And I feel like it's just, it like matters so little to go through that much for that, like, for that difference of that definition that, like, you could still achieve. I feel like if you just ate less, like eat like 2 meals a day, like try to condition into doing that, but then you kind of have more, at least in my case with my metabolism, some more wiggle room as to what you're gonna then be able to eat without, you know, gaining weight past what you were losing from exercising. So I don't know. It seems so ridiculous and rash that they would force these pop stars to go through these grueling processes of starving themselves in order to hopefully bring home the bacon forever. I don't know. What are they going to do? Just run on treadmills and get plastic surgery until they break? Come on, music industry. Come on, people. What you buying? I feel like these days it's starting to trend more toward the quality of the content as opposed to what does this person look like, which is really great. It's an excellent development because what you look like is not the music. I mean, when you look at the Mona Lisa, do you care about what Leonardo da Vinci looks like? No, you don't. So I don't get it. I've never gotten it. For the first 15 years that I listened to music, I didn't even pay attention to music videos. I thought they were vain. I'd watch VH1 in the morning just because, like, I wanted to get an insight into that world, but I thought the way most of it was set up was just so vain, and it felt like they're patronizing us and pandering to us, and it still feels like a lot of the music is trying to do that too. It's just evolving with the culture. But I feel like art should shape culture. I mean, if you're going to have, I mean, obviously culture shapes art, but I feel like it can work the other way around too. if people are more willing to be open-minded and be individuals as opposed to just constantly needing to follow trends and what the majority tells them is right. And then we could create a society with more variety. I guess there is more variety, but with a spotlight on more of the variety. I don't know. Maybe that's a stretch. Maybe it's fine the way it is. Who knows? I don't know. I'm fine. I'm good. So, are you good? I hope you're good. Next up, we got Roger Daltrey of The Who is selling his champagne to benefit cancer charities that got hit during the pandemic. And I think that's super awesome. So, I just wanted to share that with you. The Who! Woo! I don't know if you remember them. They have that song. It's like it sounds like a bagpipe. That was terrible. I'm so sorry I made you suffer through that. But it sounds like a bagpipe, kind of. But what it is, I think, was the lead singer of The Who's DNA, or Pete Townshend's DNA, who's the guitarist, I believe. Not the lead. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure. Feel free to correct me, naysay me, all you want to. I don't care. If I'm wrong, tell me. Tell me I'm wrong. Don't just let me be stupid. That's just the meanest thing you could ever do to somebody is just know that they're wrong and just be like, yeah, dude. Yeah. And then you just like behind their back, like, he's so stupid. But like, I don't know. I feel like you could say whatever you want because you're not always going to see everybody to their face. But it's like, if you do see them to their face, don't say the opposite. Don't say the opposite of what they need to hear just to make them feel better in that moment, because you're just going to F everything up. Or at least any part of the advice that they actually do take from you is going to just F up their progress in what they're trying to do. So, I don't know. If I ever just go ahead and say, give compliments blindly, it's because I don't know where to begin with trying to give advice. But if I have any advice to give you, I'm going to give it. And a lot of people maybe think I'm kind of a dick because of that, because they don't want to hear it. And like, I don't just, force advice on people ever. But there's times where people ask me my opinion and they have this predetermined destination of where that's going to bring them and what they're going to hear out of my mouth. And when it doesn't go that way, they get mad at me. Not every time, but it happens. And I could see the disappointment in their face. Like, they just wanted that reinforcement. It's like, but you know me. You know I am not a cushion. I am an honest, I'm going to give you a sculpture of an opinion that's going to be just what it is. It's not going to be a cushion for you to rest your head on. It's going to be a sculpture for you to look at and understand and realize. And I don't know. It's just crazy to me that there's people out there who, in trying to do something they want to do, and I mean, if this applies to people that I'm friends with, I love you. I don't mean this in a bad way, but it's crazy that people will shut down the opportunity to use any sort of feedback that isn't just a compliment. Compliments are great. They make you feel good, but they don't help you progress. Unless they're like specific, like, I like this about this, but I also think that you could work on this. You need that feedback in the other direction. But the problem is this generation's so lazy that most people do not want to hear that other side of the feedback. They only want to hear the compliments. They only want the instant gratification of thinking they did perfect the first time they tried something. And I don't understand this attitude. You will never do perfect at anything the first time that you try it. And assuming that you will be your downfall until you stop assuming that. And I don't understand why you would want to deprive yourself of the opportunity to go on this journey to create this amazing career for yourself doing something you love just because you don't want to work. What do you want to do? What the hell do you want to do if you don't want to work for what you love? I think of it in my head. It's like when I was a teenager, I used to think like, oh, I'd love to just sit inside and play video games, or oh, I'd love to, go to friggin' play laser tag with my friends all day. But like, I mean, what do you, if you're not working toward something that you want to be doing, I mean, everything that you in life that's worth doing is going to be really hard. People say that and you're like, oh yeah, sure. But like, no, it's actually the case. So if whatever you're doing wasn't difficult or isn't difficult in some way, isn't like making you face some sort of adversity, then you're not doing the right stuff. And you're going to end up in a place where you're going to feel that everything you're doing right now for comfort is just monotony. That's what happens. The things that you do constantly over and over again for comfort, to keep yourself in that comfort zone of like, oh, okay, now I don't have to do it. Like, you want to earn that. You don't want to just sit and rest in that, because that will cease to be a comfort at some point. And once that happens, you're not going to know what to do with yourself. And it's never too late to figure something out that you want to do. And even if you never get to that level you want to get to, what better way is there for you to spend your time? Working for somebody else and making them rich? I mean, some people really enjoy that, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you don't, and you're one of the people that's complaining every day about what they're doing every day, stop doing it. There's always a way. So I got so sidetracked. Woo! News. I mean, I guess that's kind of the point. But anyway, couple of Sex Pistols stories. Johnny Rotten of the Sex Pistols wrote a song about Kate Bush. Their music, of course, is nothing even remotely alike, so it's very interesting to hear that Johnny Rotten admired Kate Bush, and they even tried to write some music together, but they weren't really vibing completely. But Johnny Rotten did write a song for her. Very interesting. Also, the members of the Sex Pistols are tied up in a royalty dispute amongst each other, which I guess is kind of a normal thing. None of them are on speaking terms, and all the yada yadas and the yada yada yadas and the... Sorry, guys. That's sad. I'm sorry to hear this. But you get a bunch of yada yada yadas from me. Anyway, next up, Sex Pistols biopic is currently in production. Very cool. I would watch a Sex Pistols movie. Let's go. Let's do it. I'm excited for this. It's going to be a good time. Last up, there's an article suggesting there's going to be a Cassette comeback, because they're making some, like, they're doing some re-releases of cassettes with popular artists, and it's like, why? It's an old technology. Improve it. Improve the technology if you want it to make a comeback. Otherwise, it's just going to be you investing money in a bunch of cassette tapes that most likely nobody's going to buy. Except for, let's see, maybe 100 people in their 40s or 50s. The 60s and 70s and 80s, no. And under the 40s, I mean, I can't imagine very many people in their 30s are going to buy cassettes. I'm not going to buy cassettes. And I am now 30. I adult. I no longer diaper. No diaper for me. Yes, but anyway, I can't play drums to save my life. All right, next up. Nothing. That's it. That's all I got. So, charity of the week. Until I can think of a better one. I mean, there are amazing charities out there. In fact, okay, regardless, I have one for next week, but for this week, I'm going to repeat the same one. Thorn, THORN.org. They have a technology called Spotlight. They have saved 2,000 children from child trafficking situations just this year so far. 20,000 in total, children alone. They also have saved many adults from slave labor and all kinds of horrible, horrible things. So please donate to Thorn. They are literally saving people from human trafficking situations. And it is just one of the most despicable things facing our generation, our people, our humanity, or just in general on the planet. It's one of the most terrible things that's happening. And Thorn is one of the most effective players in the fight against it. So please, if you have any extra money, donate it to Thorn. Help these kids, help these people. Love you all so much. Thank you so much for listening. You're amazing. You're so wonderful, and I'm not being sarcastic. I know my shirt says otherwise. It says National Sarcasm Society. Like, we need your support. But yeah, I know it's like kind of funny, but not like amazingly funny. But I wanted to share that that's what my shirt said, but also share that I'm not being sarcastic in any way, shape, or form. Please donate to Thorn. www.thorn.org. They are a spectacular organization. Research them, donate to them. Peace and love. Thank you so much for listening to this or watching it or whatever you did. Whatever you did. Just get some shampoo in your hair and go to bed. Just kidding. Love you.
We all spoke too soon, and now it's too late. You asked me where I'm going. I forgot I need to stay. Is this change for the better now? Is this change for the better somehow? Can you keep me sane by myself?